who have had anything to do with professional baseball, and especially the Dodgers, really pine and hurt as we got the news today that Don Zimmer of the Dodgers and so many other teams, but he'll forever be a Dodger. Don Zimmer passed away today. He was about 83 years old. And wherever Joe Torre is, I'll bet his heart is broken because he loved Zimmer as much as all of us. Matt Kemp takes a curveball, hits it to third. Up with it is Garcia. So he's done on one pitch, one away. Don Zimmer, while he was in a Dodger uniform, I would hazard to guess he was the most beloved Dodger amongst his teammates. There are those who are very popular. There were those who are respected. But rarely do you ever put the title beloved on a player. And Zimmer was. One reason he was seriously beamed twice. He was having a great year in July of 1953 at St. Paul. The batter Van Slyke takes a strike. A pitcher named Jim Kirk hit him in the head. He was unconscious for 13 days, couldn't speak, and lost 40 some odd pounds. And 1953 was the year the Dodgers went into the World Series. And they loved Don Zimmer so much. They asked the commissioner, could he possibly sit in the dugout with us? And the commissioner said yes. Strike two pitch is squirted foul, still 0-2. And I remember doing that first game in the World Series, and there was Zimmer surrounded by his teammates, and he couldn't speak, could not say a word. But they had a place for him in the dugout. Dodgers battling the Yankees in 53. And for those of you who are old enough to remember the Dodgers in 59 out here, Van Slyke is just hit by a pitch. It was Don Zimmer holding down the fort at shortstop, but he was hit on the foot by a pitch. Didn't break the toe, but the toe was swollen. He couldn't put a shoe on. They cut a big hole in the toe of the shoe, and Zimmer tried to play shortstop, but he couldn't really do it. So Zimmer's injury caused the Dodgers to reach down and come up with Maury Wills. But to get back to Zimmer, he had so many nicknames because he had so many popular traits. The most famous of his nicknames, Popeye. Left-hander Danks working Turner, misses inside, ball one. He was also called Tippy. They also had only a ball player's name for him, Miami Beach. Don loved the high life, the dog races, the horse races, the card games, and he always had a group with him. Don Zimmer. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Instead, throw to first. One quick story involving me. One year, I actually wore a Dodger uniform and sat quietly in the Dodger dugout. They were playing the Chicago Cubs. Zimmer was the Cubs manager, and I had asked for permission to do it, and I didn't think anyone except some of the Dodger players knew I was even in the dugout because I crept in right after the anthem. And I sat there with the cap pulled down over my brow, arms folded at my chest, and I wasn't going to make a move. And at the end of half an inning, the late John Vukovich, who was the first base coach for the Cubs, as he ran by the dugout, he hollered, "Vinny." And I looked up and he threw a ball to me. And I caught the ball, and on the ball it said, "If a fight breaks out, I want you." And it was signed Zimmer. And I looked over, and the Cubs were just falling down on the bench in laughter. Some secret that Scully was in the dugout. But he was just wonderful. It was an honor, a pleasure, and a huge grace to have known Don Zimmer, believe me.